Today's video is going to be something a little bit different. It's going to be a reaction video to something that I saw on the internet a couple of days ago. As you do, you come across videos, viral videos, all sorts on the internet these days. But for those of you who don't know, I used to be a professional cyclist. So before I was in the hair world and the business world, I used to cycle full time. Yes, full spandex, full shaved legs, the whole lot. I'll put some pictures in here so that you can actually see for yourself. But I came across a video which was the last kilometer of a bike race recently that happened in Catalonia. And a young British rider won the race. I'd love to get into the deeper lesson behind this because there's a lesson in this video, multiple lessons actually, ones that I've shared with the guys in our coaching group recently, but also there's a massive lesson for life and for business in the watching of this finish. So I'm going to watch this on my phone. I'm going to put the reaction to it here in the video so that you can watch it with me, and then I will debrief the lesson. So here we go.
As he goes clear now for the finish line, and he powers his way up this final turn. Brennan is there in second position. Behind him is Caden Groves. Primoz Roglic is coming across now as well as we make our way onto the final drag up towards the line. Brennan is basically leading out Caden Groves, and Groves will do nothing. Now we hit the slopes, 500 meters to go. Roglic gets ready to strike. Brennan looks around, he doesn't want to do all the work. This rider going for the finish line.
Can I just pause here and just say, at this point in time, with 500 meters to go, it looks like the guy in front is going to win the race by a landslide margin, right? It looks insane. He's so far ahead right now. That's all I want to say.
Looking around, is he going to make it? Del Grosso, Groves looks, there's Roglic. Behind Roglic, the rest of the field. 400 meters to go now as Brennan decides right now he's got to try and close the gap. Can Del Grosso hold on for the finish line and take an incredible stage victory here for the Alps and the Koenig team? There's Matthew Brennan on the right-hand side. Roglic strikes. Here goes Caden Groves, who's still ready to go. Groves is in a perfect position. Brennan now starts to go. How are they going to catch him? 200 meters of racing to go. The Alpecin de Koenig rider after 4 hours.
150 meters. 100 meters to go. It still looks like he's going to win this.
Very, very difficult. Is he going to get there? Is Brennan going to get him on the line? It's going to be so close.
Oh my God.
40 kilometers an hour today's stage.
Incredible. So incredible, right? There's a lesson in life and in business that I've been sharing with a lot of people lately, that a lot of the time these days, people judge themselves on the score before the game is over. And business is not a finite game, it's an infinite game. So there is no real score to be judged on, apart from the comparison that we have with others when we look at them on social media, or how much money they're making, or whatever, right? The lesson here is you don't give up until the race is over, because it's not over until it's over. And that's the end of life for many of us. That's as finite as it gets, right? But the beauty of that clip is that there's a naivety to somebody who is relatively new to the game. So this young kid, Matthew Brennan, he's 19 years old, from Britain. His first UCI pro race, straight out of developmental stages, 18 years old, and put into the pro ranks. And he was given, I guess he was backed. And it's amazing, what I've seen happen in cycling over the last 3, 4, 5 years, particularly, is that something is happening that never happened before, which is juniors going straight into the professional ranks, missing that under 23 development time, and winning immediately. And I have my own theory on this. It's very similar to the apprenticeship style model in the hair world. But sometimes there's a beauty to naivety, not knowing a lot about something, because you can very quickly become an informed pessimist. You know, it's kind of like the entrepreneurial life cycle. You're an uninformed optimist when you are thrown into the deep end, just like somebody like Matthew Brennan here is, or Remco Evenepoel. When he came from juniors into the pros, he went from dominating juniors to dominating the pros. He didn't get given all of this time and space in the middle to be thinking about what he needs to do in order to win. And I see this happen in the hair world too. It's like, you need to sweep the floors for 4 years before you can be a good and achieved hairdresser. It's not true. You can really condense that time these days into something much, much shorter if you want it. And that is the caveat here. This kid, Matthew Brennan, he clearly wants it. And that's why he went and he got it. And it's the same thing with Remco. They're put on a rocket ship, they're put on an accelerator. But one of the keys is that they have somebody backing them. And I can't stress how important that is. When I was a cyclist, I didn't really have anybody that backed me to that level. Not in the same way that people backed me in hair, for example. And we're in a game of confidence, you know, when it comes to sport. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate if you're watching this. In anything that you do, if you feel confident doing it, you have a much higher chance of succeeding in that thing. Sometimes, you know, just giving somebody a bit of support and backing them can be the thing that takes them from zero to hero very, very quickly. You know, if you can put confidence and hunger into these young kids and not put them through unnecessary trench hours. Now, there's a certain amount of things that need to be done in order to get to this level. You don't just go from a relative nobody to winning a pro race. He was clearly good. He clearly had the signs. There was no need for him to go through like 2 or 3 more years of development before he could start winning pro races, because the proof is in the pudding, people. And I was the proof in the pudding in the hair world. I came in within 2 years. I was doing what most people don't do in 20 years, because I just didn't listen to what the layman said. So, massive lesson in this. So let's recap on some of the lessons here. The first lesson is, don't judge yourself on the score before the game is over. Don't give up just because you might be having a tough day or a tough time, or somebody is ahead of you, like we witnessed in that finish. Don't give up just because of that. Use that as the reason to drive you forward, because there's only one place to go from leading. And oftentimes it can be back down unless we're moving forward. So there's a merit and there's some strength in being like behind in second place, right? I guess the second lesson really is not to give up, especially if it's something that is worth chasing. And the third lesson is lean into the naivety. Whether it's for you or it's for other people, back somebody, back yourself. If somebody backed you, how would that feel? There's so many talented kids out there these days who don't want to even get into entrepreneurship or business or hair or cycling because they've been told by somebody else that it's not possible for them. I was told by one of my first ever cycling coaches that I wouldn't be a professional. And if I listened to him and I didn't follow my own heart, I'd have regret. I'd be sitting here now and I'd be wondering, what if I just went all in and I didn't listen to that person's opinion? What would life be like right now? So I'm glad I went after it. Even though it didn't work out for me, I won't have any regrets. And I don't want you to have those regrets either. So if there's anything to learn from that video, it's have a goal in mind. Have a place where you want to get to. Don't worry about who's ahead of you. If anything, use it as fuel for the chase. And don't judge yourself on the score before the game is over. I see this happen way too many times in business, in entrepreneurship, in hair, in cycling, in all of it. Ride your own race, shut out the noise, and just keep on going. You've got this.